Alright, so we're going to do a re-gear on this front differential out of a 97 GMC K1500. This is a independent front suspension differential here. And basically what we're going to be doing is it has 373 gears. We're going to be taking those out and swapping to a set of 410s to match the rear, which was done about a year ago. And what we're going to be doing is just replacing seals only, no bearings. So we got the 3 seals here. These 2 are the axle seals. This is the pinion seal. This is for the second design front differential, which transitioned somewhere in 97. So I believe this to be a second design. So we have the second design seals. So basically what we're going to do, pop this axle out, pop that axle out, split the case, and then pull the gears off, put them back in. We have a set of Yukon 410 gears coming in the mail tomorrow. Put them back in with the exact factory shims the way they were. That's why we've got the pinion marked here. We're going to tighten it down to exactly where it was before and throw it back in the truck and see what it does. I know that's not the right way to do it, but that's what we're going to do. Not too worried about it. This differential just idles 99% of the time. Did the same process on the rear, and it's got about 30,000 miles put on it since then. Makes no noise, has no leaks, nothing concerning at all happening from the rear. We did the same exact thing on the rear. Pop the gears out, pop the new gears on with the old bearings, and put it back together with new seals. And it's been fine ever since. So So we got the diff pulled apart here, all the pieces laid out. We have to still get that pinion bearing off that pinion yet. We'll do that in a press with a tool to not damage that pinion bearing because we're reusing it. But here is the diff pulled apart. These are the seals we took out. So these are original seals. They are still marked GM on them. And as you can see, there's the part number on that one. And on this one, there's the part number for the pinion seal. The new seals, the pinion seal looks the same. The axle seals fit the axles and the diameter of the housing, but the new axle seals are a different design. So these are a lip seal, the originals, and these ones are not a lip seal. So the inner part of the seal here actually spins. The sealing surface is inside the seal. I can't really show it with one hand, but it appears to fit the axle snugly and fit in the housings. Seems to be the right size for the housing, matching it up with the old ones. So we're going to throw these in and see what they do. These are supposed to be a better seal. I don't know if I have a first design seal axle and I'm putting second design seals in it, or if these are just the ones GM used from the factory in the second design. I have no idea. But these ones appear to be right, so that's what we're going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and get that bearing pulled off the pinion, and then when the new gears come in later today, we will put them on, put the seals in, and put all the bolts back in and see what it does. Alright, so I ended up having to pull the axle tube off of the one side because the actuator where it goes in, this is your gear that actuates, that moves back and forth with the electric actuator. All these little washers and stuff actually fell out into the housing when I pulled the axle out, when I first pulled it out. So we got all that pulled out. We're going to have to put the two sides of the case together and then put that in with this tube and the axle at the same time. That way it can hold everything together. All these like thrust washers, that one, and the gear in here all moved in that housing as soon as that axle was taken out of there. So we will put it back together in the reverse order that we just did that, and it should be good. I did find one chunk of metal in there. I'm not sure what that's from. The only thing I could think is it's a piece of the end of this ear. If you look at it, one side's shorter than the other. I think there used to be more to this side and it broke off in the diff. It's not really a problem because it still holds itself in there from spinning. This is just like a thrust washer in there. So we will take that out so it doesn't get eaten by the diff and put it back together. Alright, so our Yukon gears came in. This is our ring and pinion here, our old pinion that we pressed the bearing off of. So exactly what I'm going to do here is this is our old shim from our old pinion. This only has one shim on it, I checked. We're going to take the old shim onto the new pinion, just like so. We're going to take the old bearing that we very carefully removed at the press without damaging it onto the new pinion. Now we're going to go to the press this bearing all the way onto the new pinion, and then we will put our ring gear on our carrier. Remember, these bolts are reverse thread, so righty loosey, lefty tighty on those. Loctite those when you put them in. You do not want one of those coming off in your diff. It will cause all kinds of havoc. We'll go press this on and put the ring gear on, and then we will be putting this diff back together. Alright, so there is our GM 8 1/4 front differential, all re-geared here and resealed. I don't know if I did a good job explaining this at the beginning, but I'm not very worried about the gear lash on this, because the way these front differentials work is when you are in two-wheel drive, this axle is completely disconnected from the carrier, so this just free spins, and this one just spins the other side of the carrier and it acts as an open diff. So in two-wheel drive, your ring gear and your pinion gear never turn in two-wheel drive. If you don't believe me, you can climb under your truck when it's in two-wheel drive, and while it's moving, your front drive shaft will not be spinning because it doesn't turn. So the only time the ring and pinion will ever be turning is when it's in four-wheel drive at low speed operation. This truck's only used in four-wheel drive really in 4 low, top speed of like 25 miles an hour. So not terribly worried about that. We didn't mess with either of the preloads on the carrier. So as far as the carrier turning and all that, that should be completely fine. That should not have changed at all. The only thing to be worried about is, like I said, the gear lash, which I'm not worried about. And you shouldn't be either. So we're going to put this in the truck here, and I will give you an update after a couple hundred miles. We will test it off-road. We will drive on the highway, make sure that it's all good. I've already filled it on the bench here. So I'm going to get this thrown back in the truck, and I will give you an update in a couple hundred miles from now. Alright, so this is the update on the re-gear of the front diff here. It's been about 1,000 miles since it's been put back in the truck. Four-wheel drive has been working perfectly fine. No noise when driving in two-wheel drive on the highway at all. Smooth. Just checked the fluid level. It was actually a little bit overfilled still. As you can see, I just pulled the plug out. There's some dripping down there. So it hasn't lost any significant amount of fluid. Pinion's dry. The passenger side has just slight wetness on it. Nothing to worry about. At least I'm not worried about it. And this side looks good. I don't see much over here. Most of the oil down here is coming from this front timing cover, which is leaking all over the place and slinging oil everywhere. But that is a problem for another day. As far as the front diff goes though, it's quiet, it works. I'm happy with the re-gear, and it seems to be holding fluid good. Fluid looks nice and clean still, so we are gonna run it and see what it does. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this helps somebody get their truck back on the road, and I will see you next time.